Gentlemen, start your engine!
Ladies and gentlemen, 25 weeks have led us to this important series race here tonight. That is the Daytona 350. The race to be at for most of these drivers. A lot on the table tonight. Jordan Parker right now going into this race is looking to be your regular season champion off of points here at Daytona Beach in Florida at the beautiful 2.5 mile tri-oval. Tonight is going to be action-packed racing from the start all the way to that checkered flag. Who will take the victory tonight in the final regular season race here for the NARAS Cup Series? That question will be answered in roughly 2 hours. But as of now, drivers are on track, running their practice laps, trying to get their strategy down to a T. As we are officially live here from ARN Network, my name is Tyler Jones, and I will not have a partner tonight, so it is going to be a lot of action-packed commentary for you here. 140 laps will be completed tonight before we crown a victor at the end of this race. 2 stages are 40 laps. The third stage is 60 with 100% fuel in their cars and only 7 sets of tires, which is going to be a game changer here tonight. It is all about strategy. It is all about draft control, and it is all about team management. Will we see Mark Morton go for that series-breaking 4th win here tonight, or will it have to come from the playoffs? Or will we see Jordan Parker finally clinch a SuperSpeedway win? He is 0-6 in his NARAS career, but has led more laps on a SuperSpeedway than anywhere else. Right now, there is a lot of storylines going into this race, and it will only tell by the true testament of these drivers here tonight in just a few minutes. Qualifying will be set to go live shortly, roughly under 50 seconds before the qualifying grid will appear and will start, where we will go live on the track to start off our live coverage for tonight. Just want to say, while we are waiting for qualifying to start, thank you guys for tuning in here tonight. Thank you for being a part of the reason we do this week after week, and thank you for taking time out of your Saturdays, to enjoy the racing that we put on for you here tonight. Now let's go onto the field and see what we have so far, as it should be transitioning over as we speak to qualifying. Few cars still on the track here. Looks like we have 18 total drivers here tonight. Lot of familiar names, a few new names put into that mix. Bobby Bender is one of them. Chris, I'm gonna butcher that name. Gaxzol, if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, I do apologize, will be in the 70 in another Ford tonight. Josh Ryder is here today as qualifying is officially started. Caleb Hess, first one on the track here, followed by Aaron Ramon. A lot of drivers starting their cycles right now to begin the night. Hardin Hansen now on the track as well. One of the new guys in a 27 Toyota, Bobby Bender from Pensacola, Florida. This is really his track here tonight, so will he be able to possibly take that win here tonight? We're just going to have to tell the farther this race goes along and develops. Josh Ryder on track. And it seems like a lot of guys are on track right about now. Getting these times in is key. Not only does it really solidify your pit box, it also solidifies where you will start for the beginning of this race. It is a very pivotal thing. A lot of people do not like qualifying. They'll just sit it out. And I don't personally agree with that. I would rather see a driver go ahead and qualify, whether they qualified good or bad. It's always a smarter decision to make sure you are on the track getting as much warm-up as possible if you didn't do a lot in practice, and also being able to kind of show what is going to happen here for the remainder of this race. Now, it is a super speedway, so of course it is going to come down to a lot of team strategy as well as just draft capabilities and the least amount of damage on your car. Corey Rainey, one of the last few, other than Josh Mason, to touch the track. While we are on Corey Rainey, let's see if we can get a copy of the owner of RFD himself. Corey, do you got a copy, boss? Doesn't seem like he is ready here. We are going to let him go ahead, get back to his team channel so he can hear what his drivers are doing. Hopefully we can touch base with him later. But right now, as you see on your screen, a lot of cars have officially ended their qualifying laps. Broadfoot right now just hit the track himself. A lot of similar times here. Almost everybody's in the 48 4s. Looks like right now the fastest time is the 11 of Lucas Lewis with a 48.3. As you see on your screen there, Lucas right now will take the pole position. Broadfoot in second place. Caleb Hess in third. A two-way tie for fourth and fifth. Jordan scored it first, so he will be given fourth place with a 48.43 alongside of his teammate in the 5, Christian Mullins, that also set a 48.43 as well. Sixth place looks like Chris Gaskzol, excuse me. I'm just going to call you Chris for the remainder of this race so I don't make you mad there, boss. In that 70, it does say 707, drop that 7. That is his number officially for the night. It was not able to update in time.
Everyone. All right, meeting room time, guys.
As the drivers are officially hitting the track meeting room, as you just heard there, while we patiently wait. While they go to this meeting, we will take a commercial break and be right back with NARAS Cup Series here for our Daytona season finale.
fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in Victory Lane.
Driving with conviction.
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it. Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
You gotta say no, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody's pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
And we are back here live at the Fireworks 250 here for 350 miles for the season finale of NARAS at Daytona. The place to be right now, as drivers still have a few minutes left in their warm-up meeting. We will go over a few notes for tonight. As we said earlier, Mark Morton going for his 5th win. Correction from earlier. Going for his 5th win tonight and break a 3-way tie. He is tied for first place with Owen Lax, who has not had a single race on the track here this season, and Josh Mayu, which is not an active driver. So that is something that can possibly be broken here tonight. Hopefully it will be tonight, so he can kind of put that on the back burner and not have to worry about that for the rest of his season. Jordan Parker right now is possibly looking at a win here tonight if him and his team can pull through and work together from green flag to checkered. He is 0-6 right now in his NARAS career on super speedways, but as stated earlier, he has led more laps on super speedways than any other track ever put on a NARAS schedule. So that is something we're going to have to keep an eye on tonight, the lower the lap count gets. Jordan Parker right now, going into this race, is untouchable and is a 2-time regular season champion. Possibly, we're going to have to wait to see with his finishing position here in stage 1 and 2 if that gap will be manageable or the margins will get a little bit tighter. We're going to have to keep a close eye on that and wait for our infield reporter after stage 2. Right now, Aaron Ramon is returning to the track tonight in the hunt for one of the final 3 playoff spots that are available here. Tonight is the last night to make it happen for him, so he has to dig as deep as possible to gain that advantage. Can he make his final run for the playoffs? We are just a few minutes away to see if that is possible. And stated earlier, we have had an additional add-on within the last minute for drivers to check into the race. That is Chris Gascol in the 70. He will show up on the tower as 707 because he was unregistered within the last minute of registration. So his card number will not match the number on the tower tonight. So if you see 707, just know, drop the 7. It is the 70. But right now, eyes are on Morton. All eyes are on Parker. It is going to be a race, and I mean a race tonight. There's nothing that is going to stop any of these drivers from laying it all on the line here tonight to get the job done, whether that be David Callahan Racing or Jordan Parker with Parker Motorsports, or possibly having RFD control this race as Corey Rainey goes for another win on his season. He has not won a race here since Atlanta. Tricon Garage hopefully looking strong tonight. We're going to have to just wait a few more minutes as they are almost winding down here with their drivers meeting. Roughly 2 to 3 minutes will be left in that drivers meeting. We are getting to the point where action is going to start. So if you are tuned in, stop what you're doing. Go get your drinks. Go get your snacks. Bring all the family around the TV or the phone, whatever you may be watching. And if you are driving and listening, stay off that phone, eyes on the road, and be prepared to hear possible mayhem or an amazing play-by-play for the next 2 hours here tonight at Daytona for the Fireworks 250 presented by ARN. As you see there, they have not loaded those cars onto pit road, so it is just a matter of minutes. 18 drivers on the track tonight. And I am getting word right now from our infield reporter that the 70 is going to be working with RFD tonight. That is available for him to do, as he is a Ford manufactured driver with team manufacturing able to be done on restrictor plates that will add another car to RFD. So that is going to increase their odds and chances a lot more than it would have if they just had those 3 cars. It is going to be a tough fight here tonight. I am sure of that. It's super speedway racing. A lot of people will say nothing can go wrong, but I promise you everything can go wrong in just a few moments. So we are going to have to sit back and watch what unfolds as soon as that green flag is thrown here tonight. They will be doing a few extra pace laps here as a salute for the season finale. We are now just waiting on drivers to start exiting the drivers' conference room and get back in their cars, start those engines up, and get ready for nothing but possible double wide racing this entire race. And there you go. Cars on the track right now. Carden Hansen on track, getting his warm-up laps in right now. Joshua Mason in the 88 behind him. Christian Mullins in the 5 out on track alongside the 77 of Jonathan White. The man that may make history tonight, that 8 car of Mark Morton in the track, getting those tires warm, working with his team to see the strategy if it will prevail here tonight for him to get this record-breaking win and solidify the rest of his season here with David Callahan Racing. I just love listening to these engines on track, man. The roar is just amazing. It is better in person than it is sitting in the booth. You could feel it in your chest as soon as that car passes you, and then you just get smacked in the face with nothing but air and just the pure, raw smell of fuel. Nothing is better than a beautiful race that will finish possibly under the lights here for certainty. Caleb Hess in the 51 on track, getting laps. Aaron Ramon, he's going for his final playoff spot. Has to make something shake here tonight if he is going to take it. Only one more opportunity, and that is right now. So that is another one we have to keep eyes on with his finishing position to see if he can edge himself into the playoffs. You see that pack following behind. A little bit of problems there as these drivers are trying to get comfortable around each other. Now remember, super speedways, that double yellow line on the inside is a no-go zone. What I mean by no-go zone is you cannot have more than half or all of your left side tires under that line while making a pass. You will have to default yourself to the rear of the field or give that position back when it is safe to do so. Going through the field right now, this lead pack has Carden Hansen for warm-ups. Mark Morton, Crazy Train on the bumper of the 3 car, getting a little bit of the preview of what we're going to see tonight with a lot of these drivers in this pack and a lot of the drivers on the field. Hence the fact we are following them right now just to give you guys a possibility and an understanding of what we're going to see here for the Fireworks 250. Now, don't have a partner in the booth, so now's the time. Well, I will ask the chat to go ahead and drop your race-winning pick picks in at this moment before that green flag drops. I would love to hear from our fans at home as to who they think will take this win away here tonight. Me personally, unbiased, but I would like to see that record broke tonight. I would like to see that A-car of Mark Morton put himself in victory lane to not only get another win on the season, but to go ahead and break that record now so he can dial himself in a little bit more comfortable and not have to worry about the end stage of a race to get that race win. It is a very pivotal race for him. They are good at super speedways. As you saw at Pocono, they had the edge, they had that advantage, but will he be able to prevail tonight with his team behind him? Notably, David Callahan himself is not a part of the regular season anymore. It is very unfortunate, but they do have the 11 of Lucas Lewis, the 15 of Aaron Ramon, the 51 of Caleb Hess, the 55 of Gage Burns, and Crazy Train in the 8 car himself. So they still have a lot of help tonight that is going to possibly make the difference. Notably, the 11 is a Tricon driver, but since he is a solo Tricon driver for tonight, he will be team manufacturing with DCR, David Callahan Racing. Parker Motorsports, the 24 of Christopher Franz, the 5 of Christian Mullins, the 88 of Josh Mason, and the 9 of no one other than himself, Jordan Parker. Then we have RFD, the 22 of Brandon Broadfoot, who has been trying to get himself to victory lane all season, unfortunately has come up short. Will he have that opportunity tonight where it is anybody's race? The 32 will also be working with RFD Team Manufacturing in that Ford. That is the 32 of Josh Ryder. Then you have the 70 of Chris Gaxol. New driver tonight, just registered at the last minute. I mean, that man was out of breath running to that pen and paper in the driver's room to sign up. Then no one else other than the number 4 car owner of RFD himself, Corey Rainey. Warm-up is officially over. We have the grid on the screen here. In first place tonight is Lucas Lewis. Second place will be Brandon Broadfoot. Third place is Caleb Hess. Fourth place, Jordan Parker. Next to him, his teammate in that 5 car, Christian Mullins. In 6th and 7th place, you have Chris Gaxol and Mark Morton. 8th and 9th place, Josh Ryder and Aaron Ramon. Rounding out your top 10 is Jonathan White. Behind him is Thaddeus Friel Jr. and Gage Burns. In 12th, in 13th and 14th, you have Cardin Hansen and Corey Rainey. 15th and 16th is Thomas Adams and Bobby Bender, a new driver here tonight. And rounding out the field in 17th and 18th place is Christopher Franz and Joshua Mason in that 88 car. 18 drivers on track tonight will be intense as soon as that green flag is dropped. These drivers are in their grid, and we are waiting to hear from the man himself, the owner of NARAS Cup Series, Jordan Parker. At any moment now, we shall hear Race Communications for a little message to the cars and the viewers watching at home. Right now, drivers are getting those seatbelts as tightened and as fastened as possible. This is a place where you can get spun and go airborne. It is not taken lightly here, the wrecks. Hopefully we will not see that much carnage, that will unfortunately result to anybody getting DNF'd. But we will have to wait and see as the cars are now fully pacing. Let's hear a word from the NARAS Cup Series owner, Jordan Parker.
All right, guys. So, reason why I said no radio is just because he was hot micing on the broadcast. I don't want anyone to hear any kind of bad language. Anyway, thank you guys for showing up here tonight. This has been 18 races in the making. Last race for the playoffs, and want to thank everyone, the fans who watch this week in and week out, the drivers who show up week in and week out. Personally, thank my family for the consistent support of me, constantly spending all my time on here.
How come, just quick curiosity, I'd say only 37 laps.
All of you guys who make this possible, who show up every single week, deal with me day in and day out with the constant announcements and the constant changes. You guys are rock stars, and yeah, thank you guys for making this entire thing possible. 10 years ago when I made this on Roblox, I did not think that it would come this far. So thank you guys for everything.
And thank you, Jordan, for those emotional words there coming from the heart. You can tell this is a very pivotal point in time for this league. 2 seasons officially in the books here as that checkered flag is waved. And like he said, we want to thank everybody that has taken any time from their day to make this race happen, to make this possible for these broadcasts to be broadcasted, as they are pacing right now to do their little salute to Season 2. We will go to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back here for the opener of the Fireworks 250 at Daytona. And we are back here right now. Pace car is off the track. Green flag waved this time by Lucas Lewis, your leader, leading us into the Fireworks 250 here for NARAS Cup Series. Lot of tension on this track right now. Lot needs to be done here tonight from a few drivers if they want to see a playoff. Aaron Ramon, notably, is one of those drivers. Mark Morton going for the 5th win here, and Jordan Parker trying to break his 0-6 streak going into this race on SuperSpeedways. Right now on your screen is the 11 of Lucas Lewis, that Toyota, followed by the 51 of Caleb Hess right behind him. Top 5 still the same as grid. Not much moves being made as Mark Morton dives up high there, as you just saw on your screen, to control that high line going in to the front tri-oval. Double file racing so far tonight. Morton gets the edge over Lewis, is now officially the leader, but how long will he be able to hold that positioning? Not able to dive down, but don't think he will, because well, truthfully, he actually needs to, because Lucas is one of his manufacturers. You see Brandon Broadfoot in that 22 taking that really good over-under right there to go side by side with Mark Morton for the lead. Nose to nose, Broadfoot just edges over Morton to take that lead away right now. Lap 2 out of 140 for the fireworks, 250. Beautiful racing we are seeing so far here tonight. Only a few laps in, but everybody seems really comfortable on the track. Not much wiggling going on. A slight break up there for those last 5 cars, but that might be a fuel strategy here, as they have about 35 to 40 laps of fuel. Of course, those leaders are not going to see those numbers. Their margins are going to be slightly off due to the fact that they have no draft coming from in front of their cars. Right now, Morton leading on the high line. Jordan Parker in second place, side by side with Morton there. Going for the lead is Jordan Parker. Third lead change of the night so far. Morton takes the lead back. Parker and him are fighting side by side to get the lead and control this race. Low line notably has more cars in their field than the high line does. That draft you see, though, is immense from that high line with only just a few cars in that pack. 70 getting a little bit loose there. 32 had to check up and give him room. That is Josh Ryder. That 70 working with RFD tonight. The only Ford within the top, two Fords within the top 5. You see a little bit of contact with the wall back there. Think that was Bobby Bender in the 27 car, but cleaned it up and no caution is called. Right now, Jordan Parker leading this race by about half a car length over Morton in that high line. Getting very close here. Broadfoot in front of Morton right now, fighting for the lead. Has the lead and will dive low in front of Parker. Gives Morton a decent run there. Now he is side by side. Parker had to check up a little bit. He did not want to push. But it looks like there's a little bit of commotion in the back there. Everybody able to maintain. Nobody wrecks out so far, but you see, believe that is Bobby Bender once again hitting that wall. So it's been a little bit of a tough start for him so far, but he looks to be comfortable back there. Only 3 cars right now on that high line. Everybody going low, trying to get as much draft to save that fuel. 8 car, Crazy Train, Mark Morton in the lead right now from Cartersville, Georgia. Has notably won 4 races in this regular season. Trying to go for 5 here now so he can put it behind him, do his burnouts, and also take that official NARAS Cup Series record. Everybody's still pretty close here. You're starting to see on your screen that high line to redevelop once again. They're going to have to work a lot of magic to get back up to the front, as Morton is now low, controlling that bottom line with the draft advantage there, as they have the ratio over the top line. Your top 5 right now going into lap 8 is Morton controlling this race. Dax Zoll in the 70 in P2. Brandon Broadfoot in 3rd place in that 22 machine. The 9 car of Parker in 4th. Ryder in 5th, switching with Parker right now. The rest of your field from 6th to 10th consists of Gage Burns in the 55. Lucas Lewis in the 11. RFD's owner, Corey Rainey, in that 4 car, 8th place. Bobby Bender in 9th place, and Caleb Hess in 10th. Morton right now led 5 laps out of 8 laps so far. 3 laps he was fighting for that position with Jordan Parker. Brendan Broadfoot now has control of this race as Broadfoot's going to go low once again. Edge out just in front of him, but will there be enough on that bottom line for Broadfoot to edge that entire line forward to comfortably hold the lead right now? Everybody's going a little staggered going into 1 and 2 here, but everybody still manages to keep it clean. That is going to be the name of the game here: consistency, cleanliness, and partnership. A lot is going to lay on the line when it comes down to the teams. Unfortunately, a lot of the people that don't have many teams are team drivers on the track right now, excuse me as I fumble, are going to hurt just a little bit. Notably, Carden Hansen is the only one from Hansen Motorsports here tonight, but he is in a Chevy, so he can get help from Joshua Mason, another one from Parker Motorsports, Christopher Franz, Christian Mullins, or Parker himself. The only Chevys on the track tonight. It is a Toyota and Ford dominant race. As once again, Morton takes over the lead. The 55 of Gage Burns now in 2nd place. Josh Ryder edges out just over him in that bottom line to take the advantage. But not much has changed here so far for a lot of these drivers. 55 on the bumper of the 8 car, doing what he needs to do, giving him that push. That is Mark Morton's teammate. That Ford, Josh Ryder, the 32 car, low line, trying to take the lead from Morton, and currently does. But it most likely will be temporary, as it seems like the high line and low line are pretty even right now. Seems like Jonathan White by himself alone in the backfield. Thomas Adams not too far in front of him. And Carden Hansen sitting behind the 88 of Joshua Mason in 16th and 15th place. And the 98 in 14th place, Thaddeus Friel. They are roughly 5.5 seconds back from the leader right now, but it might be a gas conservation as we're seeing. Mark Morton, Josh Ryder fighting for the lead right now as we take lap 11 this time by, going to 12. Notably, 35 to 40 laps of gas are in these cars as these tanks are 100% fueled up. Pits are staged with 7 full sets of tires. Tire management really not a problem here as it is a super speedway. They will heat up, but they will not burn off that fast. The later it gets, the cooler the track gets, the more that will change just a little bit. But right now we are seeing the 55 and the 8 car of Mark Morton and Gage Burns start to slowly add a gap on that high line. Not beneficial for them as the 27 is back in the wall once again, still keeping it green, but that is causing noticeable right side damage to his vehicle, which will slow him down the more he connects with that wall. It is an unfortunate thing, as you see they are 3 wide right now in that back. 27, the 51, and the 4, notably 3 wide right there. Corey Rainey in that Busch Light car gets the edge over it and is now sitting in 8th place. Aaron Ramon on your screen needs to solidify this playoff position here tonight. Only has tonight as an opportunity to make it happen, and he needs to make it happen. As you see, he's in the wall a little bit there. Lights stack up. Not much going on in front of him. Lot of moving, lot of wiggling in that front pack. The new guy, the 70 of Gaxol, is in 7th place right now, sitting behind Aaron Ramon and in front of the 51 of Caleb Hess. Brendan Broadfoot just cycled out of position 5 and is going now down to 7th place as Mark Morton and Gage Burns are controlling the race here. You see there is a gap between that high line and low line advantage right now. They have the advantage over the cars as 4 Toyotas sit within the top 5. Caleb Hess just sitting out of the top 5 in 6th place as he moves into top 5 as we're speaking of him. Will he be able to clear? Unfortunately not. He is side by side with the 32, but almost all of David Callahan Racing in a good position here to be leading this race. Will they start to dive low and leave a teammate out to dry, or will you see them try to hold this high line? Little bit of shakes going on in that high line there. Morton and Gage touching bumpers a little bit. Not much is happening. Bottom line really starting to lose that momentum as a lot of guys are going up to the high line. Notably, possibly trying to conserve those tires as you don't have to turn harder or worry about hitting that apron. Oh, a little bit of contact there in the back of the field. That was not Bender this time. Somebody just in front of him. Believe that was the 5 of Christian Mullins. Almost caused a little bit of a stack up there. Thankfully, the drivers were able to hold it. RFD's Corey Rainey shoots low. Gets a decent run off there. Not enough to get a position as he's going to lose a position to Christian Mullins in that high line. And now leaves him out to dry in the low end by himself. Will he cycle up, or will the 22 of RFD, Brandon Broadfoot, push him as well? Corey Rainey, Brandon Broadfoot, and Chris Gaxol are all teamed up right now, front bumper to bumper with each other, as that bottom line is slowly trying to redevelop itself here at the Firework 250 for the Daytona season finale. Going back up to the front of the pack, Mark Morton, Crazy Train, still leading this race in that high line. Low line not being able to make anything work, led by Jordan Parker right now. Jordan trying to dig deep, get that draft, and get himself up to that front of the pack to give that DCR team a little run for their money. Behind him is Corey Rainey and Brandon Broadfoot, followed by Chris Gaxol. Christian Mullins separated from his team right now. Jordan Parker is sitting in the top 5. Christian Mullins is notably in 11th place right now. Pure speed and adrenaline here as these cars are topping out at almost 199 miles an hour on these straightaways within draft. They are 198 currently for the leader, Mark Morton. Notably, all that draft behind him as you see that low line is starting to gain momentum. Parker going side by side with Morton here. Will Parker be able to take that lead away? Will this low line start to develop and give that high line a run for their money? Lost a little bit of time there. 3 cars back. Will regain one of those spots right now and slowly edge their way up. They need to clean that lineup behind him and hold in together. That wiggling is kind of breaking that draft a few times of broken draft, and you will start to see that time difference happen, which is what we're seeing right now. Mark Morton led 15 laps of this race as we are coming to lap 20 this time by. Stage 1 almost in the books here. Drivers trying to make that move happen on that low line once again. Jordan Parker finally back up there next to Morton right now. A little bit of contact there, but it did not cause either of them to get loose. Unfortunately, will hold off that momentum just a bit. 40 laps. We are halfway through this stage as 40 laps for stage 1 and 2 with the Stage 3 lap count at 60 laps to round out your 140 laps for the night. Morton, Burns, not much has changed with those two drivers as they are still leading this race with the help of Lucas Lewis behind them, Aaron Ramon. They're only missing Caleb Hess. Hess notably in 7th place right now, still has time to work up to that position with his team. Morton leading 17 laps of this race so far. We've seen about 7 lead changes, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to lose count before the end of the night, so that'll probably be the last time I'm able to tell you a lap count. But we have seen Brandon Broadfoot touch the lead. We have seen Mark Morton touch the lead. We have seen Parker touch the lead as well. A lot of drivers want that lead to take that Stage 1 victory, but they will have to wait, as there is, I think that is Jonathan White, the 77, in front of Parker now. That low line's going to have to dive high as there is lap traffic on the field. They managed to get by comfortably. No problems there. Jonathan White was that lap car. Christopher Franz as well is a lap car alongside Thomas Adams. 2 laps down right now. Let's look at 10th place and on. On your screen, we are following the 5 car of Christian Mullins. Behind him is Chris Gaxol, Bobby Bender, Thaddeus Friel Jr., Mason in the 88, Hansen in the 3. And that finishes out your lead lap cars up to position 15. As these drivers make it to lap 25, we will go to some side-by-side action for the non-stop racing here, so you will not miss a beat. If anything crazy happens, we will immediately be back to notify and figure out. Stay tuned. We will be right back. As we were in commercial, a huge wreck just happened. We are back live now. Yellow is out here at lap 27. Almost 13 more laps in this stage. Let's go back and see. Looks like to be the 4 car of Corey Rainey. Let's take a look at this wreck here. See if we can get a better view of that wreck. 51 came down low. 4 car got into that right rear quarter panel of Parker and sent Jordan up into the wall there. It made nose contact directly with that wall. Unfortunately, took out the 5 of Christian Mullins, his teammate. So Christian Mullins, Jordan Parker, and Corey Rainey all collected in that wreck and now at the back of the field. Jordan possibly not too happy about that as he is trying to go and break that 0-6 record. Notably, pretty tough there. Mark Morton still your leader. Gage Burns, Lucas Lewis, Aaron Ramon, and Caleb Hess round out your top 5. And most drivers going to be in. All drivers in this time by up to 16th place. Mark Morton, Gage Burns, Lucas Lewis, Ramon, Hess, Broadfoot, Ryder, Gagzol, Bender, Friel, Mason, Mullins, Parker, Hansen, and Rainey, along with Jonathan White, all into pits. As it looks like they're starting to cycle out. Mark Morton still able to retain that lead there. Let's see that pit lap and time. 28 laps until he pitted with a pit of .68. So notably a fuel run there. Check out the rest of the top 5's pit time. Lucas Lewis also pitted that lap with the rest of the field with a 6.9. Aaron Ramon, a 7.1 second pit time. Gage Burns, 7.4. Caleb Hess following with a 7.46. So your top 5 drivers, most of the drivers that just went down pit road took that gas run there. Very strategic move, like we stated earlier. Not much is going to happen when it comes down to the tire wear on the vehicles. So now they are in a prime position to be able to finish the rest of this race under green flag conditions here, hopefully, as long as another caution doesn't come out. But I would say good so far. We had to wait for almost the entirety of the first stage before a caution came out. First caution of the night at lap 26. Pace car on the track. Will be choose cone this time by. Morton low, Burns outside of him. This is going to shake up a little bit as DCR now controls the high and low lanes here at this restart. Few drivers still getting their laps back on the field. If you are just tuning in, welcome in to this beautiful race here, the Fireworks 250 at the Great American Race at Daytona here for the season finale of Season 2 for the NARAS Cup Series. We just had our first caution flag waved. The 4-car got a little bit of bumping from that 51 and unfortunately caught the right rear quarter panel of Jordan Parker, who got spun out and collected his teammate, the 5-car of Christian Mullins. Notably, Mullins and Parker sitting in 12th and 14th position now. Rainey sitting all the way back in 16th place with just a few more laps to go here. About 10 laps to go to finish out Stage 1 as the lights on the pace car look to be off. It's hard to tell with that glare, but we will see when it dives low and goes back into pits. As it does this time by Mark Morton, your leader, Gage Burns outside, Lucas Lewis, Caleb Hess, and Aaron Ramon all controlling the top 5 as the green flag is waved for the first or second restart of this race here tonight at the Fireworks 250. Burns left out to dry. Morton holding behind Burns there. Burns was able to get in. 51 of Hess in as well. So now David Callahan Racing holding that low line. All they are missing for manufacturing teaming is the 27 car of Bobby Bender, currently sitting in 11th place. Has had a few hiccups with that wall tonight. Nothing to cause him to wreck, but he has just not been able to find his groove to get up into that top 5 position as of now. Hopefully, we will see a resurgence of energy from him to help that team gain some control here, but they are dominating this race so far. Gage Burns controlling the race right now as we are going into lap 33 when they cross that line here. High line. Dominant DCR. Look at your screen right there. 55, 8, 51, 70, and the 11. All holding that high line, as it seems to be a low-line resurgence happening right now. Not much is going on for that low line, which is unfortunate. They need to gain that momentum to try to get this edge over David Callahan Racing. Little bit of contact in the wall as we are on lap 34 out of 40 for Stage 1. As it seems right now, Gage Burns possibly to take Stage 1 and solidify that in the books here. Low line is really hurting, almost 7 car lengths back, trying to get that resurgence, but that high line has more cars in that draft, which is pushing them to be where they're at right now in the field. Let's go through your top 10 real quick and see names. 8 in the wall. Morton in the wall there just a little bit, able to maintain it and hold on to it for dear life. That is a very seasoned driver here. That's why this man has 4 wins on the season, going for 5. One of the most dominant cars on the field right now. Your top 10 drivers at this point in time: Burns, Morton, 51 of Hess, the 11 of Lucas Lewis. 4-car of Rainey, who has finally made it back up, leading that low line right there on your screen, coming out of that last turn in the tri-oval. Then in 7th place, you have the 32 of Ryder. 8th place is the 22 of Broadfoot, and finishing out your top 10 is now Thaddeus Friel as he edges over the 88 of Joshua Mason. 36 laps done in this race so far has been Morton's race up until now. Gage is leading the better. Morton has led the better half of stage 1, but Burns is now leading the end of stage 2 as you see a really good shove right there from his teammate. Pure contact going into that corner, keeping that momentum rolling. You see they are not wavering. That 55 8 car and the 51 are not really moving. They have their lines pretty down pat so far. So it seems like unless they give him some type of racing, that he will be able to take it 3 wide in the back there just for a little bit. Mid-pack going crazy. Looked like that was the 70 of Gagzol. So he is in the wall that time. Little bit of trouble from him. Is currently teaming with RFD. Doing everything in his power next to that team owner right now. Corey Rainey staying low, trying to get that edge. What is needed. Certain moves will start to be made here to possibly take this lead away from Burns. With 38 laps completed. 3 more laps to go here in stage 1. Seems to be Gage Burns' race right now. Has the availability to take stage 1 as long as nobody starts fighting him. May see some dives from David Callahan Racing to take that stage away, but I don't think that might happen. Little bit of sparks there as we were on the catch fence cam right there. A lot of drivers keep hitting that wall, and it's causing a lot of slowdowns. Morton thought about going low there. Might have wanted to stay out of his back end going into that turn. Could have been a very bad circumstance. 1 car off the track in the back. Think that is... I have no idea who that was. It's a little tough to figure it out. Might have been Jonathan White, and was. The 77 of Jonathan White, 1 lap down. Adams 1 lap down as well, and notably, Parker is still in pits. Been in pits for about 6 minutes now, trying to get that damage out. So unfortunately for Parker, stage 1 will not work out in his favor to where he wanted it to be. But right now, lap 39 out of 40 for this stage. Burns in the lead. Nobody moving around. 1 more lap to go here for stage 1 at the Fireworks 250. Gage Burns in the lead. Mark Morton, Caleb Hess, Lucas Lewis, and Aaron Ramon in the top 5. All Toyota drivers, as Corey Rainey is now trying to make that run behind that 11 of Lucas Lewis. Trying to push him up as much as possible, get those points. It's what's needed here for RFD. Corey locked into the playoffs off of his win from Atlanta and his positioning in points. No moves will be able to be made as Gage Burns takes the flag here at lap 40 for stage 1. '55 car right now doing really good. Was able to get the edge out over Morton. One of the most seasoned drivers from DCR was able to take stage 1 as the caution flag is out. All cars waiting for that pace car. It's why they're going real slow right now. They're waiting for that pace car to pass them. As the pace car goes through the middle of the field there, these drivers will be able to resume pacing around the track, as you're going to see a lot of people go into pits right now. Notably, Jordan Parker finally out of pit road with a 6-minute and 51 time. A lot of damage on that car. Hopefully, not much unrepairable damage that will slow him down. He is 8 laps down at this point in time. As you see the entire field go in from first place to 15th. Parker in as well once again. Might not like an adjustment on the car. Possibly went out so he didn't get trapped another lap down, and will be able to now shed some of that damage off. We're going to be looking at pit road. See who can make it out. Corey Rainey cycles out first. He is not your Stage 1 winner. Excuse that. Corey Rainey will cycle out into first. Rainey having a good season for the races he has participated in. Notably won at Atlanta weeks ago. He has had, since he's... None of that sentence made sense, excuse me. It's what happens when you have a solo team here. You mess up a little bit, but that is live broadcasting. Corey Rainey has had a few weeks in between his race win. RFD has had... Trying to look right now to see the schedule. Atlanta was week 3. We're on week 15 right now. So notably, a lot of time in between. Almost 12 weeks, Rainey has not put himself back into victory lane. A good resurgence we may see here. '64 of Adams, notably behind the pace car, was waiting to get the clear to go ahead and pass around. So your top 5 going into this restart will be the 4 car of Corey Rainey, the 51 of Caleb Hess. In third place is the 70 of Gaxol. Fourth place, the 55 of Burns, your Stage 1 winner. And in fifth place, will be the 98 of Friel Jr. Rounding out your top 10, in 6th place is Lucas Lewis in the 11. Mark Morton in the 8 car. The 15 of Aaron Ramon in 8th. The 88 of Joshua Mason in 9th. And the 10 car... in 10th place, the 27 car of Bobby Bender. The rest of your field consists of Broadfoot in 11th, Hansen in 12th, Ryder in 13th, Mullen in 14th, White in 15th, France in 16th, Adams in 17th, and Jordan Parker 8 laps down, unfortunately, due to that earlier wreck, in 18th place. The cars have chose their lines. The pace car's lights are off. It will make that diving left turn this time by to get off the track, as Rainey will take us to the green flag here for Stage 2 at the Fireworks 250. To quote Michael Waltrip here, boogity, boogity, boogity boys, let's go racing. Stage 2 officially underway here. Corey Rainey leading this race, has not led this race so far tonight and is looking to hold that lead as he has Chris Gagzol, the 70 car behind him, working with him as well tonight. Thaddeus Friel in 4th place, another Ford manufacturing teammate. There is a resurgence of Ford happening right now as Toyota is kind of stacked out behind 5th place and down. But you see that 70 car giving that run because of Thaddeus Friel. They are side by side as Gexol finally leads his first lap here tonight. Rainey going up high. He needs to stay low. He might lose position there. 51 not letting up. Rainey's going to have to stay. They're going to go 3 wide for 3rd here. That's unfortunate. Rainey did not hit that mark. He expected them to follow him in line, and they did not. He is going to cycle all the way down to 8th place right now. Down he is, but out of the race he is not. He still has time to make it back up, as you see some crazy moves right there from the 11 of Lucas Lewis. Thaddeus Friel and Aaron Ramon all jump up to that high line as Lucas now takes the lead away from Gaxol. Ramon going into 2nd place right now. 8 car of Morton behind them. Thaddeus Friel moves down to 6th place. Caleb Hess is now in 4th place, pushing Gaxol down to 5th. David Callahan Racing has restacked, other than Gage Burns right now. In 5th place, speaking of the devil himself, is our Stage 1 winner. David Callahan Racing officially has control of that high line once again, as they did in Stage 1. This time, instead of being led by Mark Morton, it is led by no one other than Lucas Lewis. The 11 car has won at Indianapolis this season. Stripped that 5th win away from Morton at the end, almost 4 wide to finish that race, where a little bit of tempers thrown as he is a Tricon driver, but they were able to set those differences aside, as you see here tonight, as they are working together manufacturing-wise to run this race, as the Toyotas and Fords have the numbers over the Chevys. Double file action here at lap 47 of the Fireworks 250 here at Daytona. Mark Morton and Lucas Lewis going at it right now. Rainey back up into 2nd place. Morton dives high in front of Lewis, leaves Rainey out there to dry up a little bit by himself. 6 cars behind in that low line, all staggered. They need to get that line down comfortably if they want to gain that momentum to get up to the lead. Rainey trying and fighting as hard as he possibly can to get up there. 51 of Caleb Hess in 4th place, holding off the rest of the cars, with him and Gage Burns doing damage control in the back of the field. Full throttles, 197 miles an hour. They are 200 miles in that straightaway. I just saw on my screen the top speed of these drivers have reached up to 210, notably set by Thaddeus Friel in that mid-pack earlier. By God, George, that is some fast racing. Just to see how fast it is, let's go to our 5th place holder right now, Gage Burns, and get a cockpit view of his car. See those drivers holding that line there. Pretty comfortable. Some run on the outside from the 32. .32 of Josh Ryder. Let's go a little bit further back in the pack for another cockpit cam. See what this racing is looking like. We are following Carden Hansen right now on your screen, and see a lot of these drivers are just wiggling back and forth, trying to stay in the lines of what's in front of them to keep that draft momentum. As you see that low line starting to gain the advantage, as Mark Morton still holds this lead right now. Rainey staggered in the back. Everybody able to keep it clean there. No one got a little squirrely, and thankfully no wrecks. Morton controlling this race right now. Jordan Parker in the mix as well. 8 laps down currently. Praying for a caution to at least knock one of those off, as he is the only car a lap down actively on the track. "37 laps of racing still here to go, as they are going to lap 53 this time by DCR is the team in the lead still. Mark Morton in the A car, 11 of Lucas Lewis, 15 of Aaron Ramon. Josh Ryder breaking up the pack, as Caleb Hess is now behind them, but that 32 is trying to gain that momentum on the low line, as there is a caution out. Looks like Gaxol was the car in that wreck. The 70 car, brand new, just registered at the last possible second to be able to appear tonight, working with RFD. Let's go to that wreck and see exactly what happened with Gaxol. Ooh. Let's rewind that a little bit and see exactly what happened there. It looks like he might have came up just a little bit. Let's go to the chopper view so we have a better understanding of this wreck. Well, that's pretty far. Let's see if we have a drone cam. So a checkup on that low line caused Gaxol to have to check up and go low a little bit. The 27 did not waver off of that. That is the 27 of Bobby Bender. Unfortunately, he wrecked, which then caught Jordan Parker once again, sending Parker into that inside wall, able to maintain it, just barely hit. Possibly lost a little bit of a toe in that one. Unfortunate night for these drivers, especially Parker. 8 laps down and cannot get a break right now, as he is trying to break an 0-6 record at a SuperSpeedway here tonight. We are in car cam right now, roll bar side with that 70, as the entire field goes into pit this time by Mason, the only one staying out on the track, and that means Jordan Parker should be able to get his lap back, unless, since he was in that wreck, he will be held at 8 laps. Now let's pay attention to the exit of pit lane here. Morton able to make it back out in time, not losing much. He will now cycle to second behind the 88 of Josh Mason. So a Parker Motorsports car in front and behind most of David Callahan Racing's drivers. Joshua Mason sitting in first place. Christian Mullins, excuse me there, sitting in sixth, as their team owner in the 9 cannot catch a break. Parker still in pits right now, alongside Gagzol, Hansen, Bender, who was also in that wreck, and Christopher Franz. Bobby Bender out officially, waiting to see the rest of them come out. Once again, on behalf of Fisher Studios here, we want to thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us for this amazing race here at Daytona. It is known as the Great American Race. This is the Fireworks 250, the final regular season race here for Season 2. We are just 1 week away from the playoffs, as we are getting word from the infield reporter. The 9, unfortunately, is officially confirmed to be out of the rest of this race. That is going to hurt him, as he was wanting to get that 0-6 record broken. So unfortunately, it will have to move to 0-7 here for his SuperSpeedway repertoire. Not something he was looking forward to, especially being at the cusp of getting a regular season championship. Stage 2 finishes. We should have word if it is 100% confirmed or not, so stay tuned to hear the report from the infield reporter. Double filed are the cars on the track for the second caution of the night. Or shall I say the second Rick caution of the night. Lights on the pace car are off, which means it will go in this time by when they enter that tri-oval. And Mason and Morton will be fighting side by side to control this race here. Morton notably on the low line with Lucas Lewis behind him. Mason on the high line with Broadfoot outside. Pace car is off. Mason, control car on the outside, will take us back to green flag racing here in stage 2, lap 56. Completed tonight. Roughly 35 laps to go in stage 2. Morton edging out on that low line over the 88 of Mason and is now back into the lead. Haven't seen him lead since stage 1 comfortably. Has had to fight a few other people to get those positions, but is now sitting behind most of his team down low. We have seen DCR control that high line all night. Will there be a difference in their low lane control? We will see here shortly, as these drivers should now be able to, after that caution lap pit cycle, they should be able to make it all the way to the end of stage 2. Your top 5 right now. 8 car of Morton in the lead. The 11 of Lewis. 51 of Hess notably in 3rd place. Holding strong behind him is Aaron Ramon, fighting his way into the playoffs here tonight. The 5th place position right now is between Mason and Mullins as they keep switching. Mason has the edge over Mullins as that low line starts to dissolve a little bit. Only 4 cars down there, about 8 cars in that high line. Rounding out the rest of your top 10, 7th place, Broadfoot. 8th place, the 98 of Friel. 9th place, RFD's owner, the 4 car of Corey Rainey. 10th place, 55 of Burns, your stage 1 winner. Josh Ryder sitting in 11th place. Jonathan White in 12th. Adams in 13th. Hansen in 14th. Franz in 15th, with Bender and Gaxol in 16th and 17th. Notably, 4 seconds from Gaxol to the leaders at this time. We're going around to take lap 60 of the entire race. Next time by, Morton still holding this lead strong, not wavering off that 88 car of Joshua Mason, starting to make a run here, trying to get that lead back with not many cars in draft. Gets the edge over Martin just by a hair, but will not be able to hold on to it as Morton takes the lead back. They are going to keep changing positions here for a little bit. Morton still getting that pressure from the outside line. Side by side right now is the 88, 5, the 11, the 51, the 98. Notably, Lewis in 3rd place. 88 of Mason and Morton trading positions here. Lines are getting cleaner. Draft getting stronger. Morton out of the draft. They're going to have to check up high if he wants to get back in. Comfortably does without too much swing on the track to cause a possible caution there. Morton and Mason still changing lead positions here. Lap 60 in the books. "21 laps to go here in stage 2. Will Morton be able to take this stage for himself? Will Mason take the stage for himself, or will another caution come out and possibly shake up the entire top 5? We saw it earlier. Morton lost that momentum on the high line, had to get himself back up into position if he did not want to lose positions. We saw it unfortunately happen with Corey Rainey earlier in the race. Rainey lost at least 5 positions at that point in time. Will it happen again with Morton, the 11, the 51, all bumper to bumper as the 88 and the 5, with the help of the 98, I believe, trying to catch back up to those leaders there. And like I told you earlier tonight, folks, this was going to be pure double file racing for almost the entirety of this race, as we have seen it so far, with 62 laps going to 63 laps here completed on the night. Morton is still holding strong. That 88 has not been able to gain as much time as he is hoping for. Starting to see that low line develop a lot more than what it was just a few laps ago. Still not many people wanting to dive low. A lot more are comfortable on that high line. Mason getting a good run here, able to take that lead away in turn 1 and 2, but not able to hold it on that back straightaway. That's kind of a pattern we're seeing right now. That low line in that corner, it's about the fastest line. As you're seeing right now on your screen, that 88 is able to make up a lot of time running that low line in the corners. But on that straightaway, since the high line doesn't have to turn as much to regain that center position, they're getting just a little bit more speed than that low line is, which is helping them control this race right now. Your top 5 currently: Mark Morton in the lead, the 11 of Lewis, 88 of Joshua Mason, 51 of Hess, and the 5 in 5th, Christian Mullen. Not much that 88 can do right now. Gain that position, the 11 out of line. Teammate in the 51 had to check up just a little bit to get him back in there. Did not cause a stack up, so that is good. Low line starting to get momentum there. Mason able to hold that quarter panel of Morton a little bit stronger, but still will not be enough to help him gain that lead. Notably, if he gets in front of Morton and goes up to that high line, he may be able to impede that entire team's strategy. As we are now hitting lap 69. Or 66, excuse me. Not many positions have changed here so far for this stage. This is what we saw in stage 1 with that A car. He was able to dominate a majority of the beginning of this race. Unfortunately, was not able to hold it the entire time, and Burns was able to take the stage 1 win. But still, knowing Mark Morton, he's not worried about that because it still went to the team. What he is worried about is that finishing position and the possible record-breaking win here tonight. Pure, raw racing on your screens right now as everybody is fighting as much as possible to try and gain that position. Most of the cars are pretty comfortable where they're at and don't seem like they want to change that position. Stage 3 is really where a lot of your shakeups are going to come from. That's the stage that matters the most. 88 of Mason getting that run as he normally does, but will he be able to hold on to it? Side by side with Morton. 5 car almost connects with the 11. Still side by side on that straightaway going into the tri-oval. Not going to be able to edge out in front of Morton. Still trying. Will he be able to get that advantage? Notice that low line starting to get that rhythm now. They are not losing that gap like they normally do. Side by side is Mason. Just touched a lead there for half of a second. Unfortunately lost it back to Morton. Lewis and Hess rolling in that top line. Comfortably controlling this race right now. A very smart move for the David Callahan Racing drivers, as they know that high line is the line a lot of people will choose to make a move in. With them occupying that lane, it makes it a lot harder for someone to pass in that low end. Lap 70, going to 71 at the line, this time by stage 2, almost finished and in the books. Here, Mason, Morton, side by side. Will he be able to take the edge off of Morton? Still does not have the run into the tri-oval that he wants. Wants to get in front of them. Wants to get this stage. Will have to pull out as much as possible to make it happen. 88 getting separated by Morton by a car length will gain most of that back now as that low line is starting to get a little bit more comfortable. Not as comfortable as what they want to be, but still better than they were. 3 wide in the back there for a second. That was Rainey. Five over, judge that corner entry just a little bit. The 11 needs to get back behind that 8. Don't want to lose that draft. Mason in the lead now. Getting pushed by Mullen. Bottom line has finally found that occupancy. 88 goes up high, overshoots it. 3 wide for the lead right now. 8 car able to get around him with no issues. 5 car of Christopher Mullins. I keep messing his name up. Christian Mullins is now alone. Does not have his teammate in front of him to help out. It is very unfortunate for Mason as that he now cycles back to 11th place. Overjudged that slide up. Trying to do a good slide job late block there. Unfortunately, just did it too much and has now had to suffer the consequences for it. Christian Mullins. Notably losing time right there, as there is a wreck. And the caution is out. Ooh, and that does not seem good at all there. A lot of damage on that 77, Jonathan White. Let's go to this replay and see exactly what happened here to cause this caution. 77 in the back of the pack on your screen. Looks like he just went up into the 32. And the 55 of Burns. Yeah, staying in that draft there. Burns kind of went up just a little bit. 77 didn't think he was in there, and that pushed the 77 up the track, which also led the 32 to scrub on that 55 into the wall. 77 noticeably going around. Unfortunate for him. You saw Gage hit the wall there as well. Able to maintain it. Sparks flying off that car from that left front tire. Possibly out of alignment. It's very unfortunate, as those drivers are in pits right now. Fourth caution of the night here, as stage 2 is almost completed. Gagzol, notably the only car a lap down at this time. As you see him on your screen right there, getting his lap back. Hansen, Friel, Adams, White, Burns, all in pits. Jordan Parker, unfortunately, out of this race. Back early as stage 1. The question is right now, will Morton be able to take this stage? as these drivers are coming around to the line. This time we should have the choose cone. Once again, Morton, Lewis, and Hess all in top 3, which means DCR is going to be side by side controlling this restart. And here they come to the choose cone as you see that flag held straight, signaling the caution is still out. Morton goes high there. Lewis goes low. Preferred line of Morton is that top line. These drivers are doing a phenomenal job tonight on the track. Not much or not many problems really occurring early on here tonight. Few wrecks, I believe 3 wrecks at this point in time now. 3 cautions were wreck cautions. 1 caution was our stage break for stage 1. And as these drivers go down that back stretch into 3 and 4 to the tri-oval, you see pace car lights are off. Sun setting in the background at this beautiful track here at Daytona Beach, Florida. Lights are on. Emotions are high. Pace car entering the tri-oval now. Will be coming off the track momentarily to have Mark Morton and Lucas Lewis side by side restart and control this race. 51 is behind Lewis in the low lane, as the 51 of Caleb Hess. Restart zone in, and the green flag is back out and waved. 77 laps completed in this race out of 140 in total. 4 laps remaining in this stage. Four car of Rainey back up into the top 5. See him going and making a dive in front of Morton there. Very smart move, as he knows the 22 is going to lead him to a possible really good stage ending position. Mark Morton going to dive low there. I wonder if the 22 is going to go and block him. Doesn't have the edge. Morton is inside already, but losing speed to that low line. All of David Callahan Racing is in the high line. Notably, Rainey and Broadfoot stay up. Broadfoot in the lead. Not led many races. Morton goes high, gets that draft, shoots low. Side by side with Rainey right now in second place. Will he be able to pass Broadfoot? And does comfortably to gain the lead back. Him and Lucas Lewis, bumper to bumper here, still getting the edge over that high line. Not the line they want to be controlling, but showing that it does not matter for them. They will be able to be dominant no matter their track position or lane position as well. Broadfoot still holding the lead by 0.06 of a second. That is 7 thousandths of a second. Team owner Rainey dialed in behind him in that beautiful Busch Light paint scheme there. Needs to hold on, does not want and need a repeat of what happened in stage 1 or excuse me, stage 2, where he got off the line in draft. They are notably 3 wide now for 5th, 6th place. You are seeing Morton just lose time on your screen here, going all the way back to 8th place. Christian Mullen now fighting that 22 RFD car for the lead. Broadfoot broke that draft there. Probably not a smart idea. Was thinking about a block, but stayed up. Christian Mullen and the 88 of Mason getting a good run here. Mullen officially leads his first lap here at the Fireworks 250. Lap 80 in the books. Mullen around, going into the tri-oval. Another caution comes out in the back end. Lucas Lewis involved. Morton able to get around it. Christopher Franz involved. The 64 just taps that back bumper. Corey Rainey also involved in that wreck. An insane timing for that. It looked like Christian was about to have this stage for himself. Let's go and follow Christopher Franz, which is the first initiated crash on our reports. 98 in the middle line there, you see. We're going to have to go to that chase cam. Looks like Rainey got loose on him there. Unfortunate. 98 came up into Rainey, and it looked like it was a little bit of a net code situation because that does not look like he touched him at all. Let's go ahead and back that up and pay attention to that view once again. Yeah, a really bad net code situation there. There was no contact made from the 98 to the 4 when he spun. And unfortunately, that 98 spun that 4 car right into the 24. 98 collected the 11, who went on a wheelie there, scraping the wall. 27, unfortunately, came back up, met the front bumper of the 11, as the 98 then almost collected the 24 and the 3 behind him as well. 11 notably has the most damage out of all the cars on the track, and unfortunately could be the end of his run here tonight, as we do not have any fast repairs. Right now, Gage Burns in pits. Lewis not even on the track, so that unfortunately is the end of that 11's run here tonight. That is a horrible way to go out. Not even in stage 3 yet. That is going to shake up a lot for David Callahan Racing, as Bobby has not been able to do much to help them out. He's kind of been sitting to mid-pack, end of pack right now in that 27 car. On your screen is not what I want to show. On your screen is still not what I want to show. Is Bobby Bender in pits himself right now, getting a lot of that damage taken off. 11 made contact with his passenger side door. As now the 3 car of Carden Hansen, someone that came out unscathed, is now cycled to the lead. '77 car of white, possibly waiting for the okay for a go-around, if I'm not mistaken, because it is saying Hansen is the leader. I think Jonathan White is just waiting for race control to tell him to get his lap back, or to regain the correct position. as he goes into pits this time. So the 98, the 4 of Rainey, Bender, White, and Burns all in pits this time. There goes the 77 on your screen. Carden Hansen finally leading his first laps of the race here under caution and will be taking the green flag. As of right now, we are side by side. Pace car lights are off. We'll go in this time by, as we are getting reports, Jordan was officially cleared and released from his infield care center. Obviously took a hard hit with that 4 car, trying to avoid that last wreck. Says he is done with that number 4 car, and he is just ready to go into Chicagoland to start the playoffs. Actively right now is the number 1 guy to get that regular season championship. Okay, thankfully that wreck did happen after Stage 2. So your Stage 2 winner is that 5 car of Christian Mullen. As we are back green, Carden Hansen leading his first laps here tonight. Hess side by side, Mason, Broadfoot, and Morton all rounding out the top 5. And as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Parker has officially confirmed his regular season champion. He is now a 2-time regular season champion here for the NARAS Cup Series. And with the finish of Stage 2, the 24 has also locked himself into the playoffs on points. Congratulations to the 24, but notably, congratulations for Jordan Parker. His efforts have finally made a difference, and he prevails here tonight. Even though he was wrecked out, he still has something good to take away from this race. 51 of Hess now in the lead, leading again here tonight. He's only led 2 laps, this being one of them. 22 Broadfoot behind. In that low line is Mark Morton. We are going for a ride on a crazy train behind the 51 of Hess. Your top 10 include Hansen in 4th, Ramon in 5th, Mason in 6th, Ryder in 7th, Mullen in 8th, and Gaxel in 9th, with Corey Rainey in 10th place, rounding out your top 10. Morton, now back to the lead, has led a total of 52 laps out of 86 laps done here tonight. This is a 60-lap stint for these drivers. They are going to most likely have 2 fuel pit stops if a caution doesn't come out where they're going to need the damage. Remember, 7 sets of tires, not too much to have to worry about. It is literally a fuel race and strategy here, as that high line once again has the momentum and the cars to outpace that low line, being led right now by, I believe, the 32 of Ryder. Oh no, excuse me, that is the 22 of Broadfoot. great racing we have seen here tonight. Minimal cautions is what we are really looking for. 51 going low off of Morton. Thought he was going to start fighting for a position there. Gains back into the pack. .22 of Broadfoot trying to get back up there. He has tasted a lead position tonight. Wants to do it again. Is in the playoffs, but another win does not hurt anybody here, as Morton, Hess, and Ramon are all holding tight on that high line. Decent distance between them and the car behind. As that low line is starting to gain that momentum back now as the numbers have changed. 98 of Friel in the back. Doesn't quite know where he wants to be. Seen him go up, seen him go low. He is now holding low line. Morton dives low. Comes back up there, probably trying to stop their run, but might have just helped him out on that edge there. But that had also caught up those racing in the top line as well. So now they are all restacked comfortably on that high line. Lap 89 out of 140 going to 90. This time by Morton in the lead. Broadfoot closing that gap just by a few thousandths of a second is Hess behind. 1/10 of a second is Broadfoot from taking this lead. Not able to change much here tonight. And while these drivers go around the track, we will go to a quick commercial break with side-by-side action so nobody will miss a beat. Hang around, and we will be right back for more live coverage of the Fireworks 250 here at the NARAS Cup Series. Why is it every time?
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second spot, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end? And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1. Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it. They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom. Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
as they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
No back into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to
goodness.
the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. It's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
And we are back. We are 2 for 2 right now for going to picture-in-picture and a wreck coming out. That wreck consisting of the 70 of Chris Gakzol. Let's go to the replay. If I can find it. And see exactly what happened there. Ooh, so the 3 car got a little bit loose there and ended up getting into that quarter panel. A lot of what we've seen tonight. Huge damage. We need to go to this chase cam and actually see what happened with this vehicle here. So you're going to see it right there. The 3 car behind the 70. 3 car shoots low. Still clean. Not on that yellow. 70 just comes up a little goes down a little bit, and unfortunately that was the wreck right there. Pushes that front end, which pushed him up into that outside wall. Heavy contact, nose on. 88 gets contact. 24 gets contact. And that man was crab walking down pit road. But yeah, 2 for 2 on the night for going to commercial break and a caution coming out. And folks, that's exactly why we do picture-in-picture. So there is still a possibility of that wreck to be shown. Right now, tower on your screen. Or excuse me, ticker on your screen. 3 car of Carden Hansen in the lead. 64 of Thomas Adams, someone we haven't seen up here tonight. Gonna go up on top as choose cone is happening this time. Mark Morton in 3rd place. Brandon Broadfoot in 4th. Hess in the 51 in 5th. Mullen in the 5 car in 6th. Ramon in 7th. Ryder in 8th, Franz in 9th, and rounding out your top 10 is Mason in that 88 car. Few people lapped down. Bobby Bender in that 27 car. The 98 of Thaddeus Friel Jr. The 11 of Lucas is out for the night. Gage Burns. Stage 1 winner. Is also a lap down as well. He is actively multiple laps down as well. And unfortunately, your regular season champ, Jordan Parker, out for the night due to a wreck with the 4 car earlier here at the Fireworks 250. The lights on the pace car are off. The mood is set. It is fully dark here at Daytona Beach, Florida. And at lap 94 out of 140, this race is almost tied up in the books. Will Mark Morton be able to get that 5th win on the regular season to break this record? Pace car off this time. Carden Hansen in the restart zone takes us back to green flag racing here. Morton behind him. Great jump from that low line as Thomas Adams is not able to get it going there. 3 car jumps up high. Morton low. They're changing positions here. might be a little worrisome because I'm not sure if you are allowed to make 2 block maneuvers. So that might come into play if race control doesn't take too kindly to that. But unfortunately, it does not help the 3-car of Hansen. As you see, he is losing positions right now to that high line. Mark Morton, Caleb Hess, Christian Mullins in the mix, Aaron Ramon, Thomas Adams, all top 5 drivers right now. Morton holding this race on his own so far tonight, has led the most laps out of the entire field. Show that on your screen right now. He has led 60 laps out of 96 laps done here. What an amazing performance from that 8-car. Team doing its due diligence behind, not trying to give too much room to anybody else, but also not trying to hold up and possibly get penalties. 51 bumper to bumper with the 8-car there, giving that as much draft into those corners as possible. Hess into the wall a little bit. Able to maintain. Did not lose positioning there. Lap 97 of 140. 44 more laps to go. Just a little bit shy of halfway through stage 3 here. As you are seeing on your screen, David Callahan Racing holding that high line like they have been all night. Not trying to let anybody else pass them or surpass them if possible, and they have done a phenomenal job at that so far. Brandon Broadfoot in 5th place right now, rounding out your top 5. RFD's team owner in 2 wrecks tonight, sitting in 11th position. They're getting a little squirrely up there in the back of the 64 of Thomas Adams. As we cross the line for lap 99. Just almost 40 laps left. Morton holding the field strong, sizable gaps between the rest of the field. Tenth place, roughly 4 seconds back from the leader right now. Everybody else in very close margins, tenths of seconds, as they are all almost bumper to bumper drafting here in that high line. As always, high line has more cars. It has been the more favorited line here tonight. Truthfully, not a shocker, as that low line you just haven't seen produce a lot of speed coming out of those exits. Smart decision from all of those drivers up there. Getting a little loose in the back end, going down mid, almost caused some bumping. Everybody's keeping it clean as possible. A little bit of contact with the wall back there. Believe that was Thomas Adams. Good racing so far here tonight. Like we said earlier tonight, the 24 has locked himself in off points, and Jordan Parker has gained the regular season championship here to now be a two-time winner on a regular season. Unfortunately, cannot possibly go for the championship and the win as he was wrecked out early on to this race, but still has something to celebrate about tonight. High lane getting a little squirrely there. They're able to hold on. That low line just not able to get any momentum to catch up. That is led by the 24 of Christopher Franz. Little contact to the wall back there. Looks like that might have been the 32 of Josh Ryder. Lap 103. This time by will be lap 104 here at the Fireworks 250. Good gaps here. In the field, another wreck out. Caution flag is waved. 7th caution of the night. It looks to possibly be... Let's see exactly what happened. See if we can get back in the pack here. Just before the caution was thrown. See if we can get a good read. Just watch from the blimp cam, see if we can find anything in that backfield. Let's follow with this backpack. Oh, stack up right there. Push them out. Another netcode situation. And the 27, Bobby Bender, unfortunately could not get a break tonight. Let's rewind that back. Show you what happened there. Corey Rainey practically went bumper to bumper. Got pushed out right there. It seems like another netcode wreck. Oh no, the 27 was pushed. He got hit pretty hard there. Went to the down, infield, was able to save it. Very bumpy area. And then came back up on the track and took out the 98 of Thaddeus Friel Jr. Seventh caution of the night here. Thankfully, we didn't decide to go PIP again, because normally that's when they come out. Mark Morton here. Still in the lead. Caleb Hess in the 51. A fan favorite behind him. 15 of Aaron Ramon, trying to solidify his playoff position here tonight, with only roughly 37 more laps to do so. Brandon Broadfoot in the 22 in 4th place. Josh Ryder in 5th. Christian Mullen. Christopher Franz. Pardon Hansen. Josh Mason, Josh Ryder, and Thomas Adams round out your top 10 here. As you see, pace car lights are off, signifying they will be green this time by. Oh, little bump in there. Going around the backstretch. The driver's got to have patience. And here we go. Seventh caution of the night. Mark Morton dominating. Pace car off this time. Morton, Mullen, side by side. Green flag waved once again. Morton, huge jump on the field right there. Now it is Morton, Caleb Hess, and Aaron Ramon holding that top line. Only 3 Toyotas now dominating this race. It went from a Ford machine and a Toyota machine dominance to Toyota losing a lot of cars there, as they lost Lewis earlier in stage 2. Adams still out on the track. Burns as well on the track. Laps down. He is still in a position where he could possibly help his teammates. But unfortunately, it will not create any positions for him. Back up front to the leaders as they go to take 109 this time by. Mark Morton, Caleb Hess, Ramon still dominating the top. Christian Mullen, Broadfoot, Franz, Mason, all fighting. Mullen starting to get that run on the low line. Only 3 cars on the top line. Will you see a block from the DCR cars? Mullen catching the 51 there, already nose to nose with the 15. Will Morton go down and block him? Morton chooses not to and will stay high. Mullen's gaining more time now. Mullen's in the playoffs himself. All of Parker Motorsports is advanced to the playoffs. Mullen's trying to take another win for himself, possibly here tonight. Trying to extinguish the flame of the possible 5th win for Morton here tonight. But is now slowly losing time. You see Morton dive low there. Broke that draft, let those cars catch up so he can get a good bump coming out of this straight. And does from his teammate, the 51 of Hess. They're thinking about going down there is what it looked like, but the 15 wasn't cleared. They don't want to leave him out there to dry up by himself. Now you're seeing on the screen the 5, the 24. All slowly catching up. 5 is side by side. Lost some time in that run in the corner. And now Mullen leads his first lap here tonight at the Fireworks 250. But not for long, as Morton back in the lead. 29 laps left to go here for the Firework 250. A little bit of rubbing back there next to Mullen. You heard a little bit of scraping on that outside wall there. As we are following Mullins around the track right now. Brandon Broadfoot back into the lead right now. Low line, persevering strong here. 27 laps to go. They are getting a huge run over that high line now. Back of your screen, Corey Rainey back up into 3rd place right now. On car cam, you're seeing. Getting a bit staggered there. Got to calm down. You see that 32 wiggling a lot right there. It's not where you want to be right now with 26 laps to go. See if the PIP curse comes back again. We have not had a long green flag cycle to finish a race comfortably. Last week, we weren't able to stream, but cautionless race. Last time we had a cautionless race was like 6 weeks before that. We're almost, I think 123 laps were done without a caution. Will these drivers have a clean 25 lap run here with no more cautions being called on the night? Very questionable, but could be possible. Rainey now back in 8th place, as that did not work out for him, unfortunately. Same with Mullen. Mullen behind him in 9th place right now. But your leader, Mark Morton, 115 laps in the books tonight for these drivers. 24 more to go. Mark Morton, Caleb Hess, Aaron Ramon, and Carden Hansen. Broadfoot sitting in 5th place. And Hansen trying to get that run on the bottom line. We're seeing a resurgence of what we saw here in stage 1. A lot of laps were led by different drivers here and there. We've already seen a handful of lead changes exchanged here now, as Carden Hansen and Morton will be fighting to hold this lead down. Might come to the wire here where the checker is waved. Morton rolling strong right now. 51 bumper to bumper. We've seen him do that all night. Hold it confidently. DCR right now feels untouchable. Fortunately, David Callahan couldn't keep that battle going for that regular season championship and had to step away. But DCR doing everything in their power to show why they're not a force to be reckoned with. Morton, Hess, excuse me, comfortably rolling that outside line. Morton shoots down a little bit. Comes back up there, which brought Mullen and company back up into the fight here. Eight, 51, 15, dominating right now. 77 of Jonathan White trying to break up that pack. To no avail. Morton blocking the low lane now. But that gave him a little bit of draft. To 20 laps to go here. Time winding down for these drivers. Time winding down for Morton. Not much time left to gain that record-breaking 5th win. Car in the wall, able to keep it clean. While these drivers are trying to wrap up the rest of Stage 3, we will go to side-by-side action, picture-in-picture, so you don't miss any of this racing action developing here live. Stay tuned. We will be right back. And we are back. 13 laps to go here at the Firework 250. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight and watching this action live. It has been an amazing race to call, and I promise you, we're still not done here tonight. Mark Morton in the lead, been holding the lead for the entire stage, has led 90 laps out of 140 and continues to possibly lead the rest of this race here tonight. Switching from ticker to tower, your top 5, top 10 are Mark Morton in the 8 car, Mullen in the 5 car down low, giving him the run for his money right now. Mark not trying to give him a good apex, trying to keep that side drive to keep that line alive. Trading positions right now. They are even. 4 cars. 4 cars low, 4 cars high. Josh Mason in the 88 in 4th place. Aaron Ramon in the 15 in 5th. Christopher France in that 24 car sitting in 6th place. Ryder in the 32 in 7th. Corey Rainey in 8th. Hardin Hansen in 9th place. And Jonathan White in 10th. We have 11 laps to go here. Still anybody's race as this side-by-side action is still going and thriving. Ten laps to go. Morton holding the lead. Excuse me. Morton holding the lead. Hess behind. Mullins in 3rd, splitting Ramon. 3 cars on top. 3 cars on bottom. Mullins gets the edge over Morton. Mullins in the lead right now. Morton takes it back. Going into the tri-oval, passing the line, 9 more laps to go here. Jordan Parker, already crowned your regular season champion. Morton going for an historic 5th win in a season to break the 3-way tie between Josh Mayu and Owen Lax. And we might see history here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I will say it now. Once the race is over, don't click off, because we still have post-race interviews with our top 3 finishing positions. Ooh, little loose back there. Didn't touch nobody nor create a wreck. Sitting in that high line, giving that edge. You see Morton throwing some blocks in there. That just lost him a lot of time, though. Mullen in the lead now. And they are losing bad. 8 laps to go. Mullen, Mason in front of Morton and Hess. Oh, a little bit of a shakeup, almost wrecked it. Mullen's not able to block that 8 car as he is already inside on his door. Morton back to the lead, passing the line, 7 laps left to go here. Fantastic racing we have seen here to wind down the rest of this race. Slowly but surely, still anybody's race. Mullins catching back up again. Not much time separates him and the leader. doing as much as possible to gain that advantage. Morton still on the high lane with his team behind him. Will he be able to clutch this victory? 8 in the 51 linked up bumper to bumper here. Mullen back to the lead. Morton going low, using some of that side draft as he gets past there. Lap traffic in front. Lap traffic off the track and a spin coming back up onto the track. Morton gets to be able to stay out of it. 5 laps to go. Waiting for a caution to be called. Still green. Morton in front of the field by himself. Coming up behind him is the 5 car of Christian Mullen. 24 of Christopher France. And the caution is out. Eighth caution here of the night. Late flag thrown. Tough call there. Have to be made by race control. See if we can go back and see the initial cause of this caution. Following the 77 of Jonathan White, as he was a part of this lapped pack, coming up to what was the cause of the caution. Morton and company slowly catching up to them, as you see on your screen. One lap car passed there. If I'm not mistaken, this is where the chaos started. 5 car Mullins dives back down in front of the 88 and spun himself out on that apron, which then led to him come back up off the track and slam 2 cars into the wall there. There actively wasn't a spin, so kind of could cause some tempers from some of the drivers as everybody hit the wall but kept it clean. Gotta wonder how Morton's feeling about that situation he's in. That has pushed his team to no avail. Now he's up there by himself with Ramon sitting in 5th place. A lot of drivers have just been in bad situations tonight. That, unfortunately, was one of them. 8 car going high there. Seems like no penalty being served on the 5 for causing the caution. Will be green this time by as the pace lights are off. Mullen, Morton, side by side for this restart here. Pace car is off the track, and we are back green, possibly for the last time here tonight. Entire field caught back up. Low line has a lot of cars in it. 2 laps to go. Will Morton pull this victory out? Morton, Ramon diving low. Morton on his toes right now, watching that mirror more than anything, making sure no one gets a run. Ramon going to go ahead and block the 5 while trying to go up. 5's getting a run there. Still side-by-side racing, trying to get the lead. Mullen edged out over Morton here. Morton gets it back. Pay attention to how they cross this line, because it might be how they do it with this being the final lap. Morton in the lead, passing the line that time by, so if he can have that same run, he's got an historic win here in the books. And another wreck on the field. 5 involved. The 8 car of Morton involved once again. Josh Mason on the final lap in the lead, going around to the straightaway and crossing the line here this time by to finish the race. The 88 of Mason takes the win here at the Fireworks 250. Now let's go back and see exactly what caused that caution. Morton come down just a little bit. See there, he goes down. Makes contact with that 88 car. Puts him and Mullen in the wall. Big check up there with everybody. And that, unfortunately, is how their night ends here. No records being broken tonight. Josh Mason being your winner here for the last race in the regular season. Your top 10 finishing positions. Mason takes the victory. 24 France in second place. Carden Hansen in third. Josh Ryder in fourth. Thomas Adams in fifth. Corey Rainey finishing in sixth place. Morton going from the lead all the way to seventh. Mullen finishes in eighth. Aaron Ramon in ninth. Jonathan White in 10th. Bobby Bender in 11th. Caleb Hess in 12th. Friel Jr. in 13th. Broadfoot out in 14th. 15th and 16th, Burns and Gaskell. Lewis and Parker finish in 17th and 18th position. Now, let's take us to interviews. We will go ahead and pull in our third place finisher, Carden Hansen. Carden, it's been a tough night for a lot of drivers. A lot of wrecks have happened. What do you feel contributed to you being able to finish in the top three?
Kind of didn't have anywhere to go. I couldn't get on the brake fast enough.
Now, with the regular season officially coming to wraps, we have 10 more races to go. How are you feeling going into Chicagoland next week to start the round of 16?
I'm hoping it's a decent race. Obviously, I've never actually raced Chicagoland, so I'm kind of hoping it's a decent race. Obviously, hopefully it's a lot better than what tonight was. Obviously, huge good job to everybody that raced tonight, and obviously hoping to clean it up the next time we race.
Now, it's been, I would say, incredible season. Do you have anything you feel like contributed to you being able to finish in your position in points here? Looking at the regular season standings, you are sitting in 11th place. You are locked in and advanced off of points into the playoffs, obviously. How do you feel like your season could have been different, or do you feel like you could have been higher on that points list?
Obviously, the standings, is I just being able to lock in with points will not make even getting a win. That's obviously kind of big for me because I've been involved with NARAS for I believe 9.5 years now, and I only have 2 wins, sadly. Obviously, so just being able to lock in via points is huge for me, at least. As far as being up higher, I'm happy with where I am right now. Just, being able to maintain the positions.
Now, before we wrap up and move on to our second place finisher, do you have any shout outs you would like to give to the fans watching at home?
No, not really. Just thanks whoever came out, watched, raced, obviously. Thanks for coming. Thanks for supporting all the drivers and everybody involved.
All right. Well, congratulations on your third place finish in the 3 car, and we look forward to seeing what you're able to do in the playoffs.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And that was our third place finisher, Mr. Cardin Hansen. Going now to our second place finisher on the night, the 24 of Parker Motorsports, Christopher Franz. You got a copy, boss?
Copy.
So you were able to solidify your position in playoffs off of points officially after tonight's race, and of course a couple of provisionals used throughout the rest of the season. You and the rest of your team are now locked into playoffs. How do you feel about the finish of this race tonight going into the playoffs to start next week?
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. So we did Talladega. That was the first super speedway I did in the league, and I had internet connection issues. So this one coming in, internet was good, and I was just trying to work the first two stages. I just tried to kind of survive. The last stage we tried to work together and see if we could beat the other team that was running the high line, which they were super good and like really good at side drafting. But that final lap, I was that was wild. Like I don't know, like got on, people got bumped. The 8 spun, but if you actually watch the replay, the way the 5 wrecked, it actually saved me and the 88 from getting caught up in there. So then me and the 88 were the last ones, and I just stayed with him, pushed him to the finish. Uh, team got a win. We were trying to get 1, 2, 3, but first and second feels good.
Right. Now, it was a fight for you to get up into that position. We saw you trying to hold on to that low line. Low line wasn't really the fastest line here tonight. Do you feel like any strategies earlier in the race could have possibly got you into a better finishing position for the first 2 stages?
Uh, I think part of it was like the first stage was just me. I wanted to, like I said last time I did a super speedway, I had a lot of internet connection issues, so I was trying to feel it out and just stay on the lead lap. The second stage though, it was it was a bad restart, so I couldn't keep up with the draft. We lost the draft, and at that point it was just trying to stay in the lead lap. So I guess that would be. I don't remember if that was me or the guy in front of me, but either way, just getting better at the restarts, the timing, and I probably could have moved up to the top lane and caught the draft if the guy in front of me was slow. So I think there's a couple things I could have done. Because once I got up to like where my team was and in the draft, I felt pretty comfortable and confident that I could get up there. I was honestly just getting up there. Hopefully that makes sense.
No, it sure does. As a driver myself, it definitely makes sense. Now, my next question to you is the round of 16. We have, I would say, at least 2 challenging races in there, being the second race of Richmond and the elimination race of Watkins Glen. How do you feel about your probability and chances of advancing to the round of 12 off of those first 3 races of our playoff season?
The one I'm nervous about is Watkins Glen. I've ran it on road like sport cars and stuff like on Gran Turismo, and I was pretty good with those cars, but this car feels very, very different. I've only done it a handful of times, so I think the next, what is that, 2 or 3 weeks away? I'm gonna try to get a lot of practice laps Watkins Glen because that one makes me a little nervous.
Absolutely understandable. Now, before we move on to your teammate and race winner, since this is your first time in the booth, man, I know you've had a lot of shout outs that you possibly want to get off that you haven't been able to this season.
Yep. So actually, my dad is watching the stream right now. Possibly a couple of my siblings too. But if this is the one we're watching, this is the good one because my best finish was 7th, I think, before this. So second place finish. And yeah, to Jordan, I ran into him randomly in a online lobby, and he invited me to join the league. So like, shout out to him. He's been helping me out a lot, showing me the game and showing me, how to get better. Just working with me a lot. Also, he does a lot of the raps for the pretty much all the raps that I've run are his. So yeah, and honestly, for this race, shout out to my teammates, for locking in, sticking together, and trying to go 1, 2, 3. I feel like we worked really, really, really well together. That was fun.
Fun it was, especially for y'all, but definitely for me up top. Congratulations on your second place finish, and I hope to see you more in the booth for the round of 16.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Oh man, that's exciting.
All right. And that was your second place finisher of Christopher France in the 24 for Parker Motorsports. There's only one man left to ask the biggest questions, and that will be the 88 of Josh Mason. You have had some hell to deal with this entire race. There was a lot of wrecking around you. You guys tried to hold that low line as much as possible when you guys did get stacked together, and fortunately for you, it kind of prevailed. You were able to make your way through the wreck. How do you feel like this race went from you, from start to finish, from your perspective?
Well, at the start, obviously I didn't qualify because I didn't really believe myself for qualifying. So I wanted to start at the back. Stage 1 was perfect. Stage 2, even better. And then stage 3, I thought I was out of it once we got separated and that after the restart. But thankfully that caution came out and helped me a lot. I mean, I was thinking I was going to get 8th at the least for this race.
Now you are actively advanced off of points. Now locked in off this win. This is something I know you were trying your hardest to get throughout the regular season. How does it feel to finally get that win at the last regular season race?
Honestly, it's a little too late. It's a little, win a little too late, but I mean, this whole season I've been trying to put results. I keep getting screwed over by, the little things like penalties, lap downs, crashes. And it's good to know that I can finally show a result with crashing this time.
Now, notably, a lot of your team did get wrecked out. Jordan Parker got wrecked. Christian Mullins got into 2 wrecks there at the end. Do you feel like you guys could have had that 1 through 4 position if, all cars were still on track at the end of that race?
Honestly, yeah, I believe that we would have. If that wreck didn't happen, the last wreck didn't happen, we definitely would have finished first, second, third. No doubt about it.
Now, I've been asking the other 2 about the playoff situation. You now officially being in leads you to the round of 16 regardless, whether it was this win or off points. How do you feel about these first 3 races in the round of 16? Chicagoland, Richmond, and then Watkins Glen for the elimination.
Well, I mean, I really don't even know how to feel about it because me myself, I don't even have those tracks, so it's gonna be a real learning curve for me because obviously I've never raced it before, along with half the tracks in this schedule.
So it's more or less for you gonna be a kind of wait and see type of game.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I mean, we've seen in most of the races in the regular season that even though I'm pretty bad in practice and not too good in qualifying, I always at least show up in the top 5 for during the race.
Well, thankfully for you tonight, you got the fireworks show. Not many people could actually say that. Only 2 opportunities to get that this season, and you got one of them. Now that the season is wrapped up, what are you looking forward to for the rest of the season? I know I asked you about the round of 16, but what races are you really looking forward to in this playoff bracket?
Well, if we definitely keep Martinsville, I'm definitely going to be happy about that because I think I've run Martinsville at least 4 times in the Cup cars, and I'm really good at it, so I'm really looking forward to it. And let me see what else is on the schedule. Kansas is pretty good. I like Kansas a lot. And then Phoenix and Homestead gonna be my forte.
So you seem to be a little bit more comfortable at the better half of the end of the playoffs. So I hopefully we'll see you past the round of 16 and advance to the round of 12, because then it seems like you'll be giving them a little bit of hell in the round of 8.
Yep, I hope so.
Now, before we let you go celebrate with your team tonight, do you have any shout outs that you would like to give?
Wow. Well, I gotta give first shout out to, of course, my team, Christian, Jordan, Christopher, for just believing in the whole team and myself and just being there. And it's really good to know that I have a good team behind my back. And of course, I gotta give a shout out to James Parsons, even though he's not in the league anymore. He's been, supporting me behind the scenes and planning on doing a race together soon. And of course, I gotta thank my mom for letting me be here, because right now the Blue Jays are playing and they're tied, and that's not good.
No, we're hoping for a Blue Jays win ourselves, so it's not good.
I've been trying to watch it this whole race.
Yeah, good luck with that. Well, I'm not going to hold up any more of your time since you have a big anticipated game on TV right now. Congratulations on your win, first win of the season. Hope we see more of you here. First win ever in the series?
First win ever on, at least in any series, any league. This first win ever.
Well, dang, yeah, that's a bigger win. So congratulations on that, boss.
Thank you.
We hope to see you back in the booth more during the round of 16 or the playoffs in general, but only time will tell. So once again, congratulations on your first win.
Thank you.
And that was your winner, the 88 of Josh Mason. Showing one more time on the screen our official results. Well, unofficial results as of now. Possible penalties to come. But as of right now, obviously your leader in the 88 was Josh Mason. 24 for Parker Motorsports 1 and 2 was Christopher Franz. In third place we had Carden Hansen. Fourth was Josh Ryder. Rounding out your fifth was Thomas Adams. From sixth back was Corey Rainey. Mark Morton, trying to go for that fifth win, was unable to do it here tonight. Have to wait and see if he's able to do it within the next 10 races. Christian Mullen rounding out 8th place. Aaron Ramon in 9th. White in 10th. Bender in 11th. Hess finishing in 12th. Thaddeus Friel Jr. in 13th. Broadfoot in 14th. Gage Burns 15th, Chris Gaxol in 16th, Lucas Lewis finishing in 17th, and your regular season champion Jordan Parker wrecked out in stage 1 to 2, finishing in 18th. Honestly, great race tonight. Few cautions there at the end did change up a lot of things. But overall, it's super speedway racing. It's expected to happen. On behalf of Fisher Studios, it has been a blast to be able to commentate this race from green flag to checkered. Thank everyone for joining us live or watching for the replay. If you want to be a part of NARAS for next season, Cup and Truck, be sure to get up with us, and we will get you in the server as soon as possible. On behalf of ARN Racing Network, my name was Tyler Jones, and that has concluded coverage here for the Fireworks 250 season finale for NARAS. We will catch you next week. Right here, same time, different place to start our playoffs, November 8th. And this year, we are at Chicagoland for the Brand 250. That will be a late afternoon race to start the round of 16. So be sure to pop back in same time, same place. Thank you everybody for watching once again. We are out.